Camel trading journey. Once upon a time, there lived a wealthy merchant who had 3 sons. The merchant was a kind-hearted man who wanted his sons to learn the value of hard work and determination. He decided to send them on a journey to a far-off land to trade goods and make a fortune. Before they set out on their journey, the merchant gave each of his sons a camel. The eldest son, who was arrogant and boastful, was given a strong and powerful camel. The second son, who was lazy and idle, was given a slow and sluggish camel. The youngest son, who was humble and hardworking, was given a young and energetic camel. The 3 sons set out on their journey with their camels. They traveled for several days, and finally, they reached a desert. The eldest son, riding on his powerful camel, decided to take a shortcut through the desert. The second son, riding on his slow camel, decided to follow the eldest son. The youngest son, riding on his energetic camel, decided to take the longer route around the desert. As the eldest son and the second son were traveling through the desert, they ran out of water. They were tired and thirsty, and their camels were exhausted. They began to argue and blame each other for their predicament. They decided to abandon their camels and continue their journey on foot. Meanwhile, the youngest son had taken the longer route around the desert. He had plenty of water and food for himself and his camel. He traveled through the desert, and finally, he reached the other side. He was relieved to see that his brothers were not far behind. As he waited for his brothers, he saw 2 camels wandering in the desert. They were the camels that his elder brothers had abandoned. The youngest son quickly realized that he could use these camels to trade goods and make a fortune. He took the 2 abandoned camels and continued his journey. He traveled to a nearby town and traded the camels for a large quantity of spices. He then traveled to another town and traded the spices for a valuable piece of jewelry. He continued trading goods and making profits, and soon he became very wealthy. Meanwhile, the elder brothers had regretted their decision to abandon their camels. They were lost and alone in the desert, with no food or water. They were desperate and knew they would not survive much longer. They prayed for a miracle. Their prayers were answered when the youngest son came to their rescue. He found his brothers, gave them water and food, and took them to a nearby town. There, he shared his wealth with them and forgave them for their foolishness. The 3 brothers returned home, and their father was overjoyed to see them. He was amazed at the wealth that his youngest son had amassed through hard work and determination. He was proud of all his sons, but he knew that his youngest son had learned the most important lesson of all, the value of humility, hard work, and forgiveness,